If somebody wants to walk out of your life, let them go. This was some great advice given by Tyler Perry. It was part of a larger speech talking about the different kinds of people that you'll encounter in your life. And I'm sure the vast majority of my audience would agree with that statement. And they're very much aware that all of the usual suspects out in Hollywood are now making this threat that they're going to leave the United States because for them, the calculus has changed. For them, it's a new deal. It's not what they thought it was going to be now that Donald Trump is going to be president and they want to leave. I say let him go. What's the problem? There's no problem. They want to come back in 4 years or they never want to come back. I don't think it would really change a whole lot of people's lives. But it is instructive because when you put this up next to something that's going on in the military right now, it does make you scratch your head a little bit about what's going to be coming the next 4 years. Now, real quick, as always, gratitude. Thank you to everyone who continues to show up over the Florida Monkey Patreon channel. $1 per month at the base level, even less if you sign up for an entire year. Fully refundable first 90 days, no questions asked. All the way to the middle of February, absolutely no risk. $1, $5, $10, and $15 levels. There are all sorts of videos over there, never before seen on YouTube, talking about specific tactics and techniques of psychological operations that the military teaches. Now, let's put this in another light. Tuesday, 12 November 2024, Army Times. Marine recruit says nah to RA. Flees boot camp, gets captured. Now, this is a very common story. There was a guy signed up for the Marines. Things weren't really working out in boot camp, so he decided, you know what? I'm heading for the airport. Heads for the airport. They chase him down, tack gear, the whole bit, make a giant, huge deal out of it. And that's kind of the end for that. Now, my question on this is that in the military, given that we know it's all volunteers, why wouldn't you just let him go? Let him go. Just take whatever. I mean, if he left in uniform, just take whatever the cost of the uniform was out of his final paycheck. Just don't give him his final paycheck, and send out a memorandum to all other military services. This is who this guy is. He can't sign up anymore. Let everybody know, but let him go. If he doesn't want to be serving in the Marines, if he's just going to jet first time things get rough, why in the world would you want him back? Especially on the U.S. taxpayer dime. Why would you want him back? That doesn't really make any sense, does it? Now, I can show you, I'm sure now a lot of people are probably looking at this going, I don't know if we can just let that go. That would set a bad example, don't you think? Let me show you one picture that might change your mind. You see, if this were 2021 and I was doing this video, people would be like, well, is he leaving because they're forcing the jab? See, because I didn't preface it with this one picture, people had one thought about it. But now that I show a second picture, then people, oh, wait a minute, maybe he had a good reason. Maybe he had a good reason for leaving. You see, people, depending on the context, depending on when and under what circumstances you show them an event, can have very, very different takes on it. Now, I know this seems like we're going down a different road here, but you know how for years and years and years, prior to Trump being elected, I said, we are going after the wrong people. There are people that don't want to be in this country, don't like this country, and we need to be deporting them. And there are people who are clamoring to get here, who love this country, who are very conservative, and we need to be welcoming them with open arms. And I get all the pushback because everybody in my audience watches Fox News. But haven't you seen the Blake and Riley and all of the criminals and blah, blah, blah? I've seen half a dozen examples out of millions and millions and millions. In any group of millions of people, you're going to have that. But of course, the news is going to make it seem like it's a much bigger deal than what it is. Now, let me show you another picture. You see, even though we know that Spanish speakers in mass voted for Donald Trump, far greater than in any point in history. And in yesterday's video, we even talked about how the Patriot nurse, who's Jewish, has more in common with Ted Cruz, a Hispanic Christian, than she does with the vast majority of Jews in the United States, because 78% of Jews, you have to watch yesterday's video to know this, 78% of Jews in America voted for Kamala Harris. But it wasn't 78% of Hispanics. Now, here's the picture I can show you that will change your mind. Ready? But I still don't get it, Mucky. Who are these people? Who are these military people? I still don't get it. Oh, here you go. You see this guy? You see, the story is that we want people coming here legally because coming here illegally makes them criminals. And we want criminals deported. Okay. This guy was born here. See, there's a bunch of morons out there that put this man was thoroughly vetted before being allowed into the U.S. He wasn't vetted before being allowed into the U.S. That's a false statement. He was born here in Virginia. His parents came here from Israel. His parents came here in Israel. He was born in 1970 in Virginia. Here's the wiki. Nidal Hasan. I'm sure a lot of you know who this is. He was the guy that shot up Fort Hood. And all those people that I showed? These are all of the people who are no longer with us because of the actions of a U.S. citizen who was born here. To parents who came here legally, parents who came here legally from Israel, our ally. Let's read. Nidal Hasan was born on September 8th, 1970 at Virginia Hospital Center in Arlington County, Virginia. His parents were naturalized American citizens of Palestinian origin. They had immigrated years earlier from Al-Bara, a city in the West Bank near Jerusalem, which is, last I checked, in Israel. Now, on top of that, how many of you remember the Little Rock recruiting office shooting back in 2009? A kid named Carlos Leon Bledsoe, raised in Memphis, Tennessee, as a Baptist, in a Baptist Christian family, walked in to a recruiting office in Little Rock, having been radicalized in Nashville, changed his name to Abdul Hakim Mujahid or something or other, and did that. And got defense counsel paid for by the state of Arkansas. Judge, state pays GI killing defense. The argument that I'm hearing from all of these people who are also fired up about the mass deportation is that, well, if they would go to the deep state in the administrative state in Washington, D.C. the right way, and then they would get deep state approval and get their legal deep state papers given to them in the legal immigration process run by the deep state, then we would be okay with them being here. Now, I'm sure you don't include the words deep state in, the conversations that you have, but guess who runs the immigration department? Death penalty upheld for soldier who killed 13 in base shooting, and he's still alive, still on taxpayer dime, still at Fort Leavenworth, exhausting appeal after appeal after appeal. You want to go even farther? What death row executions may mean for these 4 soldiers at Leavenworth. Military court weighing fate of condemned soldier. Who is this? A former U.S. soldier sentenced to death for killing 2 fellow soldiers and injuring 14 others in an attack in Kuwait is pinning his hopes of staying alive on an argument jurors should have never seen his diary. Attorneys for 43-year-old Hassan K. Akbar, U.S. citizen, hates America, didn't want to be here. And then there's this guy, convicted murderer, rapist, facing execution, loses bid to bring case to Supreme Court. Ronald Gray. What did he do? 2 killings and 5 rapes. Living on your dime. Living on your dime at Fort Leavenworth. Master Sergeant on death row files new petition. See, this guy got out of it once, and then they found new evidence, and then they brought the guy back, and they convicted him of, there's a guy who was deployed overseas. This guy had something going on with that guy's wife, and then ended up killing her and her kids. Once again, doesn't want to be here. Shouldn't be here. Now, full list of celebrities moving abroad after Donald Trump's win, blah, blah, blah. One of those, very strangely, is Eva Longoria. Now, here's the dirty little story about a lot of these celebrities. Ready for this? Eva Longoria quits dystopian scary America and relocates full-time to her homes in Mexico and Spain. I get to escape. Why does she get to escape? Why does she have the financial wherewithal to escape? Well, what do we know about Eva Longoria? What do we know about Eva? How does she make her money? It's not called OnlyFans, but it's basically the same concept. And for those of you who are already throwing a fit, 67% of you in my audience, when I asked, 506 of you responding, I said, is personal financial sovereignty the ultimate form of morality? 67% of you said yes, absolutely, money at all cost. Without it, we are slaves. You said that. I didn't say that. You said that. Now, you ready for the dirty little secret? The reason that she's leaving California to live full-time in her homes in Mexico and Spain? You see, she did so before Trump was elected. Although the Desperate Housewives star said she made the decision before Trump claimed victory, she says she believes the country will become even worse. Now, why would she do such a thing? Well, let's read. The actress noted that the conditions in her liberal, Democrat-run former home state of California were largely to blame for her decision to leave the U.S. before the election, insisting that while she does not want to SHIT on the region, she found certain aspects of it very difficult to bear. Quote, I had my whole adult life here, but even before the scamdemic, it was changing. The vibe was different. And then the scamdemic happened, and it pushed over the edge, she went on, whether it's the homelessness or the taxes. Not that I want to SHIT on California. It just feels like this chapter in my life is done now. So it has nothing to do with the fact that Donald Trump got elected. It's just a really great excuse. It's just a really great excuse that she took very good advantage of capitalism and how capitalism works. Because this is capitalism. This is how she made her money. Taking her clothes off in front of a camera. Let's just be real. So that she could gain personal financial sovereignty. So that she could have houses in Spain, houses in Central America, $22 million mansion in Los Angeles to sell. So, I guess what I'm saying, and my point is that, she can leave of her own volition. We have people in this country that should be gotten rid of, that don't want to be here, Why don't we focus on them instead of the people that want to be here? You see, in any group of this many millions and millions of people that are coming here, you're going to find criminals if you want to. Just like I can find them right here in America, born here, way back in the 70s, that have committed horrible, awful, heinous crimes. You have to wonder about the victims of their crimes, that they're not getting the airtime on Fox News that this Lake and Riley thing is. We have huge groups of people in this country that hate America, that don't want to be here, and you have no problem with them being here and having free run. But people who want to come here, that voted for Donald Trump en masse, you'll go cherry pick out the few among them, the half dozen, maybe a dozen, that have committed crimes, and then say, well, then all of these millions are all also, criminals, because they're here illegally. Why? Why? Well, very simple. Let's see if we can find the picture again. They haven't been approved to live here by the deep state. They haven't been approved to live here, been given proper legal person papers by the deep state. You know, the people that Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk are going to eliminate. Oh, yeah, that's right. See, when you go in and you want to pull $2 trillion out of the budget, guess what's going to happen to legal immigration? It's going to crater. So the entire argument about, well, we just want them to be legal immigrants. We want the U.S. to give them, the same people who don't want to take a real ID, who are born here. Well, real IDs, that's just one step away from a government chip. You want those people to have real IDs because they weren't born here. You want them chipped. You want them to have brain and chips implanted so that they can be tracked to make sure that they're legal people. Here's a fun little Quizlet for you. Go try to find the word citizen in the Constitution. Go try to find the word citizen in the Constitution. So just like here where I can show you this, and you have, oh, that guy, deserter, AWOL, coward. But if I show you this, oh, hero. What a brave guy. He was trying to avoid the jab. Brave guy. Oh, terrible. Terrible. Oh, horrible. Look how out of shape he is, man. Throw the book at him. That's terrible. Oh my gosh. Such brave, stunning and brave. Stunning and brave and stunning. See? It's just not that hard. Psychological Operations 101. Join us over at the Florida Marquee Patreon channel. Would love to have you. Believe me, it'll be worth your time. If you don't think so, no risk. God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys next time.